You spend 2 hours reading a dense chapter of a textbook. You highlight the important dates and underline the key definitions. But the moment you close the book, the details begin to blur. Within minutes, the material is gone. Most students treat the human brain like a computer's hard drive, assuming that moving information into a folder is the same as storing it. But the brain is not a static storage system. It is a biological network that requires a specific type of connection to hold data. When you cram isolated facts, you are creating loose data points. Think of them as unattached leaves falling onto the ground. Your brain views this unlinked information as clutter and clears it away for new inputs. To retain information, treat your memory like a growing tree. New data survives only when it physically attaches to the sturdy branches of what you already know. By following a 4-step neuroscience framework, you can align your study habits with this biological reality. This process ensures that information is integrated on the first reading, making every subsequent review faster and more efficient. The first step is to establish a structural outline. Before reading a single sentence of the body text, you must force yourself to survey the index and the chapter headings. Most people fail because they dive into a new book and immediately begin highlighting dense paragraphs line by line without understanding the context. Forcing your brain into dense, unfamiliar details triggers a subtle anxiety response. Your nervous system treats the unknown as a threat, which effectively blocks your ability to absorb and organize new information. Scanning the headings first provides a safe baseline. This brief overview calms the primitive brain and prepares the neural pathways to receive and categorize incoming data. Reviewing the architecture of a chapter is a biological necessity. It disarms your natural resistance to the unknown, allowing you to move from a state of uncertainty to one of focused learning. Step 2 is the brain dump. After completing a section, close the source material entirely. Take a blank sheet of paper and write down every heading and concept you can remember without looking back at the text. Consider a subject like Indian polity, where you are studying the specific functions of the government. After reading about the president's office, close the book. Try to list the different types of veto powers and the election process solely from memory. You will likely find gaps in your recall. Only after you have pushed your memory to its limit should you open the textbook to fill in the missing details. This leads to a fundamental rule of the framework. You are not taking notes when you copy text from an open book. You are only taking notes when you are retrieving information from your own mind. The effort required to pull information out of your memory is what bonds these new leaves to the established branches. This process shifts data from a temporary state into active, long-term memory. Step 3 manages the rate of decay. Within 24 hours of reading, retention drops to 30%. You must intervene at specific intervals. Perform your first revision within 24 hours, the second at 7 days, and the third at 1 month. In this system, revision means repeating the closed book brain dump or taking a practice test. Rereading the text does not provide the necessary stimulus to retain the information. While the first session might be time-consuming, the required effort drops significantly with each repetition. By the final review, you are maintaining a high level of recall in a fraction of the original time. Following these intervals signals to the brain that the information is essential. This prevents the brain from identifying your hard work as noise and discarding it. The fourth step is contextual application. You must move the information out of the textbook and into a functional environment, such as a practice exam. There is a common misconception that simply completing a high volume of mock tests is enough. Grinding through questions without a strategy rarely leads to deep understanding. The value lies in the analysis. For every question, you must explain why the correct answer is right and investigate the specific concepts behind every answer you got wrong. This analytical phase should take as much time as, or more than, the test itself. This rigorous breakdown is what transforms abstract concepts into reliable, readily accessible information that you can use in an exam. For the most difficult facts, use a technique for deep-level recall. Attach a human emotion to a dry statistic. Consider the statistical fact that the female literacy rate in India is 74. 1 out of 4 women cannot read a street sign or count their own money. Internalize the sense of helplessness that comes with that barrier. Think about the daily struggles this demographic reality creates for millions. When you link raw data to a sense of empathy, you bypass the need for rote memorization. The fact becomes a part of your perspective. making it instantly available during a high-pressure interview or exam. You now have a complete system, a stunning framework to bypass anxiety, an active recall method to build connections, a structured schedule, and emotional anchors. This method will feel significantly more difficult than passive reading. It requires more mental energy and more focus. Do not be discouraged by that effort. This exhaustion indicates that the brain is doing the work of synthesizing new, permanent pathways. Pick up your most difficult textbook today, open it to a new chapter, and begin the scanning process in Step 1. Investing one difficult hour of active learning today replaces an hour of panic the night before your exam.